the past 10 years. These groups, they pop up and then they go away. You know, they're seeking fame, and they just
they go away, and it's funny because I've talked to some people, you know, when I'm at conventions who, you know, I had a TV show, and then it went away, and then they didn't have a TV show, but all of a sudden they happened to be on a TV show, and it's funny how the conversations they had with you prior to them being on the TV show, you know, they're like, oh, I hate TV, I would never do it, I would blah, blah, blah. Now they're doing it, and, you know, now they're going to all the conventions, and they're signing autographs, and it's like, oh, so you changed your mind, huh?
I think the fact is, when people are saying that they would never do it, it's all just a jealousy thing in their head. In reality, they do want to do it. Because the simple fact is, if anybody can do this and feed their family, they're going to do it. The bottom line, you can say it's not a lot of money, you know, doing a TV show. It's not the TV show that's going to make your money. It's what you do while you're doing the TV show that's going to make you money.
Yeah, you have to have the TV show for quite a while for it to start making money. Because I guarantee you, when I was at Ghost Lab, I had to quit my regular job. I'm an IT guy by trade. So I got, you know, I'm paid pretty good salary. But when I was Ghost Lab, that salary got cut in half. And, you know, it was hard. It was hard to do it, but I did it because of the opportunity, not because, you know, oh, I'm going to get rich one day, because chances are, you never know when this thing's going to. We were lucky to go for 2 seasons. I mean, you have some of them out there that have gone for 10 seasons, which I have no idea why. Well, I do know why. It's the excuse me, it's the old networks situation.
Yeah.
If you're a show like that that's a cash cow on a very, very small network, they've got to keep you. They have nothing else. When you're
they can't replace followers.
Yeah, when you're on one show on a large network like we were, you know, you're a small fish in a big pond, and that's where you just kind of get lost in the shuffle. We had 3 presidents that went through Discovery during our time there. The first 2 loved the paranormal. The third guy hated it, and that's the reason why we're gone. Just because of one guy, he didn't like the paranormal. He liked what I like to call redneck television. You know, all the hillbilly shows, moonshine and noodling. You know, sticking your hand up a catfish's mouth and pulling him out of the water. I mean, those are the kind of
honey boo boo.
and now the television genre has migrated into everything being naked. You know, you're naked doing stuff. So next you're going to see Naked Paranormal, which I'm not going to star in that one.
I'm definitely not going to star in that. I'm way too old for that one. Oh, geez.
That is what it is. But and the people out there do have that false pretense of what happens when you get a TV show. You don't make a lot of money. And, you know, I always tell people, if you're going to do TV, fine, have at it. But ensure that while you're doing TV, you're doing something to continue that sort of famehood. Because if you don't, you're going to be shot when it gets canceled. And when it gets canceled, who the hell knows? It could be, you know, 1 episode, or it could be 10 years. Who knows? You don't know. So you definitely got to have that backup plan.
Yeah, see, I've had a college degree for over 20 years. I've had a regular, you know, career job for a good 15 years before, you know, this ever happened. So, you know, I think that's the difference, because a lot of times you get the guys that, you know, they're either, you know, just living at, no offense to it, they're just living at their parents' house. You know, they're working part-time jobs. Not you. You're talking about your daughter a second ago.
Oh, she's 20. She's just a kid, though.
But a lot of times these are kids that are out there, and you know, part-time jobs, and all of a sudden they have this little bit of so-called fame, and it can go to their head very quickly, and they're getting paid for something to fly around the country, to do something, people recognize them, you know, and then it's taken away. And a lot of these guys, they'll put a gun to their head because they have nothing to fall back on. That's why
I know one particular show that I can guarantee it's going to happen. Guarantee it. I'm not going to mention it, but
I can think of a couple.
To happen.
Yeah, I can think of a couple.
Yeah, there's one. Well, yeah, there is a couple, but there's one TV show where the main character's head is so fucking big, it couldn't fit on anything. Yeah. Huge head. I picture him 10 years from now stealing from fucking Walmart, yelling at the security guard after getting caught, saying, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?"
I know who you're talking about, and I know what you're saying.
And it will, and it's not if it goes away, it will go away. It's the genre. The genre, and you can already see it. It's already on the downslide. So if you don't have a true interest in it, and you have people out there who have a true interest in it, and I have a true interest in it. I like to do the film. So it's almost like I'm doing it for that. You know, I'm doing it for the people who truly have the interest. And, you know, if it becomes something someday down the line, fine. If it doesn't, you know, who cares? I'll still do it.
But, Brad, you're doing it truly, you know what, though? You're doing it for yourself, and that's the most important thing because you love it. That's why you're really doing it. Like, I have a great other career that I've had for 30 years. You know, I'm a professional in a completely different business and a completely different line of work. You're doing it because you love it, you know, and then the people who love it are really enjoying what you do, and that's what the difference is. And that's why people should be doing it. You know,
right? And you know, I still have my team, Everyday Paranormal. You know, we when we can get out to do investigations, we'll go do that, and you know that just things don't change. And I'm amazed that when people, when I say these days, I'm probably talking within the past 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. They formed the paranormal group with the one intention that they're trying to get on television, and I don't know why they think. I think that paranormal teams think that for some reason paranormal television is the easiest thing to get on, and everybody out there says they have a television contract, and it cracks me up.
Why I know. Is that? I don't know that, and I've seen groups that are doing this, and I don't understand. I don't understand that. You know,
I can tell you what happens. I can tell you exactly what happens, and I'm sure Brad can also relate with it.
Why they think it's so easy?
They get a TV idea. They throw a pitch to a production company. Production company says, that's pretty cool. So they throw them a contract saying, all right, this is what's going to happen. You can't talk about this show at all. And that's as far as it goes. Now that contract is not a TV contract. It's just a production company contract saying, keep your fucking mouth shut about this. That's all it's really saying. Because it's not a TV show until a network gives you, you know, your financial contract and says, all right, this is how many episodes of this we're going to buy. And it's not a TV show until that point. But that's what they think.
Yeah, and there's a guy, I'll tell you a story, I wanted his name. There's a guy who's on Facebook who he messages me all the time, and he says, he's like, hey, I'm getting a show on the Travel Channel. I said, really? Travel Channel, huh? I said, he goes, yeah. They just said I got to get the sizzle reel in front of them, and then they're going to give me a contract. I said, buddy, that's not how it works.
No, they don't understand the business. They don't get it.
It's not how it works. And I said, I don't know. If you're just telling me not trying to pull my leg, I said, you're telling me the wrong person because I've been there, done that. I know what it really takes. And, you know, come to find out if someone was pulling his leg. Again, it's a lot of times, like you said, Jason, it's the production company that want to sign you and put you on a shelf because they're basically stealing your idea. If it ever comes to fruition, you know, they're the ones who have it, and you have no legal right to it. And that's all they're doing. They're just shutting you up, just like you said.
And once they have that sizzle reel or, you know, whatever the hell it is they're going to film that first time, then they'll start pitching it to different networks. And then hopefully, a network will say, okay, we're going to go forth with that project.
Right. And if you want to look back at the history of ghosts, it's why does everybody say they're having a TV show? If you go back and look at reality ghost television, there's really only been about 5 shows. If you think about it, there's really only only been about 5 shows. So why is it that 1 million people think that they're getting a show? It's just it's not easy. It is not an easy process. It is a very difficult, and it's like winning the lottery if you happen to get that green light, you know, from the network to do a national television show.
And another thing that it is that I'm sure you can agree with, it's one big waiting game. It's hurry up and do this and then wait 6 months. Hurry up and do this and wait another 6 months. It's just a big waiting game. Oh, I know all about that.
From the first time a production company contacted us to say, hey, you know, you got. Well, here the funny story is that our production company was the same one that did Paranormal State, and we were contacted by them because they were coming to Texas. And the place that they were going to film backed out on them, so they were looking for locations. Called us, and they were saying, oh, yeah, hey, you can do a cameo or you can do an appearance on Paranormal State or where we're like, yeah, whatever, you know, whatever, it's fine, sounds cool. Not realizing that was the point where they were trying to replace Paranormal State. They were trying to replace Ryan and crew with us. But that didn't pan out, but the Discovery Channel wanted a show, and that's kind of how that came about. So that's kind of the behind-the-scenes story of how that all happened. But it literally took probably 18 months to 2 years from the time they first contacted us to the time we actually had a contract. 2 years.
It's a long process.
I believe
it doesn't happen overnight.
But anyway, that's the best. It was fun. Stories to tell.
I think Paranormal State wasn't a bad show, but it was one of the most boring shows to watch.
I liked it. The first few seasons. I did. I was digging it.
It just kind of borderline. It was all based on the religious aspect of paranormal. And that floats some people's boat and some it doesn't. I wasn't a real big fan, but I knew all those guys because it was, like I said, the same production company.
Yeah, I just thought their show was kind of boring. It wasn't a bad show, and it did have some aspects to it where I could see people enjoying it. It was on a more religious side, but to me, it was just boring. It was boring. No other way to say it. And
now, one cool story that came of that though was they did an episode. I think it was called I Am 6, which is about this the
I loved that
possession of this little girl. Well, I met that little girl when we were filming Ghost Lab because we were kind of in the same town, and we went to Pizza Hut, and the crew was there, and her and her family wanted to come because the crew gets to know the people that they're filming, and they all become contacts and stuff. Anyway, she was there. This girl was no more than 80 pounds soaking wet. I mean, she was scrawny, skinny. And when she left, the production guys, they said, Brad, I kid you not, I've seen some weird things in my life, but that was one of the weirdest. They said that they had 3 guys on top of her trying to hold her down, and she was pushing them off. They said, unbelievable strength.
It was really weird. It was.
And the one thing they didn't show on the TV show, and this pisses me off, because if you want to talk about demonic possessions and how real it is, show it. I don't know why they don't show it, but they said that when they started, the exorcist walked in the house. They said it was a bright, sunny day. All of a sudden, as soon as he started in with the Latin, the Annostus Dominus, blah, 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 whatever they say.
Yeah.
The clouds, it immediately got dark. Instantly, it got windy. The church bells in the town were tolling. The cars all in the streets, all the car alarms are going off. And the production crew sitting there looking at each other going, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, you didn't see any of that. That's wild.
You didn't see it. And I said, why not? They said because it was so almost like it was scripted that nobody would believe it. And I said, but that's what you want. I mean, you want the real. You want to show it. Who cares what people think? If it's true, it's true. If it's real, it's real.
Well, the truth is that when it comes to TV shows, mainly a lot of people are going to view it as most of it is 100% bullshit, and then some of it's going to say, maybe, and then you wind up with those diehards people that believe everything they see on TV is 100% authentic.
Right.
The 3 categories that people tend to fall under. So regardless if what you said, if they put in or not, it's always going to be those 3 critics always wind up, dealing with it. It's no matter what it is. It's just the way it is.
Right. I learned real fast to not listen to critics because what would happen is we would watch, Ghost Lab would come out on Tuesday night or whatever. The next morning, I'd look at Facebook, and there'd just be people on Discovery Channel just tearing you a new asshole about how you suck and you didn't do this right and it's fake and you're an asshole. And I'm like, I quickly learned I'm not even going to read this crap anymore because it's just 90% negative. 90% people trying to tear you down.
Yeah, it's a big waste of time. I deal with it just on my radio show, just because of my radio show. And I'm like, dude, it's an internet radio show. What is there to criticize, really? You know what I mean? It's
We're
not
just
like
shooting
I'm
the shit here.
You know?
We're shooting the shit here. I mean, come on.
And I've gotten critics. I had one critic. Well, I don't know if you know this, Brad, but I did publish a book. I have a book out there, and I got one person write a horrible review on my book. He did it twice, actually. And the first time he wrote this horrible review, it went completely on this rant on topics that was